Yes, good afternoon. As the council's aware, when we deal with our capital equipment, usually police, fire, public works, expensive equipment, we purchase them through the lease purchase program, which we will acquire the vehicle through the bidding process and council approval. Funds will come from the general fund, and when we have enough vehicles under this program, we'll issue a lease for the purchase. Right now, we're anticipating a lease in this winter for equipment we've already purchased. And this item, and as well as one later on down the line, the equipment is purchased for at least for a 5-year period of time on this equipment. The lease payments are spread out over that 5-year period based upon 5 years at 2.5% interest. This piece of equipment will be about $43,000 a year for 5 years. It depends upon the interest rate, when the lease is issued. And that's pretty much it. The only alternative for leasing is if we were to budget it in the capital budget. So leasing is proved to be a very effective way to receive the equipment, to purchase the equipment we need at affordable rates. What kind of gap do you answer your questions again?
Ernie, I missed it. Did you say you had the funds aggregated now, enough funds aggregated for these purchases to issue them?
Yes, since our last lease, which was last fall at this time, or earlier, maybe November, October, we have about $960,000 of equipment to be purchased since the last lease. So these two items would be added to that, and we would anticipate issuing a lease sometime this winter.
Ernie, you're planning on staying for the meeting in December, so I'm sure that there will be other questions from the remaining members of the council in regards to this.
Yes.
Thank you. Questions from other councilors? Go ahead, Councilor Lutz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ernie, how much did you say is in that lease account now?
We have, right now we have purchased up until the last lease about $5.1 million of equipment. We've already purchased under existing leases. We have a little over $900,000 of equipment we purchased since the last lease.
So why is there in this document that we have here, it says, in parentheses, no funds in lease account?
Right, because the lease account has no funds in it. What happens, the general fund will purchase the equipment, and the lease account will owe the general fund. In this case, we'll owe the general fund a little over $900,000. When we issue the lease proceeds will go into the lease account, and the lease account will be transferred into the general fund. So when we purchase equipment through the lease account, there's no funds, and when we issue the lease, we reimburse the general fund.
But didn't you just say that there was $900,000 in that account?
$900,000 has been expended in the lease account. So it's in a deficit of $900,000. So when we issue the lease proceeds will go into the lease account, and then the lease account will reimburse the general fund, so the lease account will have zero balance.
So you've heard me talk about this before over the years, and I'm going to ask the same question that I ask periodically. Where would I or my colleagues go to see a document that shows us the tracking of that money into this account and out of that account? Because I don't recall ever seeing a document that shows me a tracking record of the monies in and the monies out. Do we have such a document?
Yes, it's in our Munis system, as well as it's referenced in the annual audit as well.
In the
annual audit as well as
that's once a year.
Right, that's how it's reflected on June 30th. But we have in the Munis system, we have the information as to the lease purchase items.
So it's in the Munis system. Why isn't it in my Munis report? I keep asking this question and I never get an answer.
Well, you get an answer. The answer is what the Munis report is a general fund report. That's That's what it is, expenses that are approved in the budget. What we have in the city is countless account codes and sub-account codes for grants, for capital projects. And not everything is in the general fund report. It's just a tremendous amount of information that transmits to the city. It's not all in one report.
Which that's one of the things that troubles me, is that all the financial information is not in that one report. How much money would you
Because
say?
it's a general fund budget report.
How much money would you say goes through that account yearly? Through this account right here, these purchases. How much money goes through that account yearly?
It varies. It varies on the amount of equipment that's purchased through the program authorized by the city council. It can vary.
How much has gone through it from the 1st of July to now?
I believe nothing.
You don't know?
I don't recall any lease purchase expenses from July 1st.
Could you produce for me a document that gives me the monies in and out of this account for the fiscal year 2015 through 2016 and from 2016 to current?
Yes, should be.
Okay, great. When do you think I could have that?
Probably in a few days or so.
Okay, thank you.
Questions from the general public? Councilman.
Ernie, what takes us to what's the number, or is there a number that we use to say now is when we need to establish the lease? Is it that 900,000 you say?
Yeah, it depends on when equipment is authorized and approved and when the last lease is issued. We want to get on a yearly issuance of leases, which will be last fall, so we want to get on an annual cycle for the lease. Once the lease is entered into, the first payment is the following fiscal year. So when we issue a lease this winter, there would be, in FY18 would be the first payment. So there's really no magic number. It's just basically we want to try to get on an annual cycle.
You in your preference, I think the number was a little over $5 million of current leases.
Yes.
So you anticipate by the time we have to make a payment on the new lease, some of those leases being paid
Yes.
down?
Yes, every time we make a lease payment, that cap goes down.
Just state your name for the record.
Thank you. Stacia Heiler, Ward 9. I look at this lease purchase account as the city's, it's like a credit card. We purchase vehicles on this credit card. We make payments on this lease purchase credit card that always has a constant revolving debt, credit debt, credit debt. Could Mr. Zymslinski, well, first of all, I have a few questions on this purchase. So this truck, this rear loading sanitation vehicle is going to cost taxpayers roughly $215,000 when all is said and done. So we know that we have, how many sanitation vehicles do we have right now? And do we know what the mileage is and what the year, make, and model is on all of the sanitation vehicles, please?
As far as what the full fleet inventory
Yeah.
is, that would be something that the DPW could provide you with every day. I don't think she's prepared to have that information. Chrissy, do you know how many sanitation vehicles are in the fleet right now? With how many are active and how many are reserved?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so can you provide that?
She's already requested that list.
Okay, so did you get that information for it?
No. I did request the list, but this is a city council meeting and the public is viewing, or I'm sure they'll be interested. I haven't received it yet, but I think that...
Do you have that information?
No, I don't. I just submitted it, so it hasn't been, I believe they have 10 business days to get that back to me.
So then, Chrissy, would you do me a favor, please, since you already pulled that information, would you kindly provide copies to all of the city council members, just email it to all of us so we have that?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, next question.
Yes. I just think that when we're looking to make a purchase of $215,000, the answers to these questions should be at every single city council meeting, the justification as to why we're making such a purchase. Because I always hear this is typically what we spend. I guess it's also typically what we tax to pay for items like this, but no one can give the justification for it. I think it's important that taxpayers get the justification. So in going back to the budget, we have lease purchase various vehicles. So I have under debt principal in the city budget, 20-546 and 2547. The outstanding balance was $786,844 for 2546 and $632,478 under 2547. Okay, I just would like Mr. Zymslinski to confirm. And then also, if he could please explain as well, under executive administration, the city's debt, principal, and interest. I'd like to know where exactly is this debt, principal, and interest falling under our city budget? Which line items? So again, we have to, yeah. Okay, so for this bid, 2017-171, for the requested amount of $190,529, where will this amount of money fall in our budget? Under what budget code exactly?
When a lease is issued for the equipment that we've already purchased and anything that's that is thought to be purchased in the upcoming few months, there is no funding in our budget for current budget for that because there is no expense in the current budget. Whatever the cost of the lease would be included in the FY18 budget. So we're always 1 year in arrears. So once a lease is issued, there is no cost in that current year. There is a cost in the subsequent year. So if you look at our budget, there are no funds appropriated because no funds are needed. It will be appropriation in the FY18 budget.
A follow-up question, just as one I'm just, in my translation of what I just heard Mr. Zymslinski say, is that the money for this vehicle isn't even appropriated yet for this year's budget, and that what they're looking for the money in next year's budget. This sounds like a spin to me, because we have a budget, and when we are balancing a budget every year, money has to come out of the budget to pay for vehicles like the sanitation vehicle. There has to be a line item in the budget. Does this make too much sense, or because I'm just trying to really understand so everyone else can understand it, because we go through this every single year. We're taxing people, we are passing a budget to pay for these huge line items. There has to be a line item in the budget to justify where the money's being pulled from to pay for these vehicles.
There is no line item in the current FY17 budget for lease expenses that we haven't issued a lease for. It would not be in there. Once an lease is issued for the equipment we're talking about, there will be an appropriation request in the FY18 budget. There will be a line item in the FY18 budget for a lease that we've issued in FY17. So there is nothing in the budget now because there's no expense now. If we put money in the budget for a lease we didn't issue, that would fall to surplus because there is no expense. The expense will occur first payment will occur in FY18. We will make our first payment in FY18. We will make our first budgetary recommendation for FY18.
The interest rate on these purchase items, particularly, what's the interest rate on that right now?
Well, there is no interest rate right now. There is no lease. What I estimated in my comment was about 2.5%.
Okay, so speaking in hypothetical terms, and seeing there is no lease now, I understand there's no lease now. If there were to be a lease now, the interest rate would be 2.5%. Approximately. And for what this or any other?
So they all vary. They all vary. Most of the equipment is 5 years. On occasion, it'll be 7 years. On police vehicles and usually rescues, we try to put that for 3 years. Because, you know, their life expectancy is not as high as a fire apparatus or a bulk representation.
So this particular vehicle, we're thinking perhaps it's going to be 5 years at about 2.5%.
Yes.
Okay, and you had said that the cost of this vehicle is going to be about $215,000.
Yes.
Okay, just for my calculations, based upon the information you just gave me now, it's actually $201,255. So the vehicle is actually a little less expensive than what we had just put out there.
Okay. Type of.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on this bid?
I believe this is my last question. So we're going to be budgeting for next year's budget roughly another $43,000 because Mr. Zymslinski said it's going to be roughly $43,000 a year for 5 years to pay for this vehicle. So I'm going to ask again, where is the $43,000 going? Which line item in the budget is this going to? Is the extra $43,000 going into lease purchase various under budget code 2546 or 2547? You have to put the money somewhere in the budget to pull the money out of the budget to pay for something. So where is the money going and where is it being pulled from?
When the FY18 budget is prepared and submitted to the council, there will be a specific line item for that lease included in that section of the budget under the principal. So it's not there now because there's nothing to put in there. It will be in the budget that's presented to the council in FY18, should the council decide to issue a lease.
Okay, so just to clarify, because I think
Mr. Zymslinski, you just can't answer the question.
I've answered the question.
You know, you didn't answer the line item in the budget. So if it's going under principal, so that's going under city debt principal, which is on page 3 of the budget under executive
There will
administration.
be a new line item.
On the mic, Ernie, on the mic, just so that the
So
people
it's
can
going to be a new, he said a new line item added to the budget. So apparently there is no line item in the current budget to validate where this money is going to come from. Now we're going to just create another new line item in next year's budget. This is how we're spending money. This is what he just said.